You're saying something about what?
It's so funny how angry people get.
Oh, it's so funny how angry people get. Well, look, I think we're absolutely live. So I think if you're ready, I'm gonna cut this shit on. You ready?
Yeah, bang it out.
Here we go, baby. We're live. We're live with the one and only, the unofficial mayor of Pacific Beach, San Diego, sitting here in front of me, Donny Hollis.
What's up, man?
How are you?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm so glad you made it out. Not too far from where you are, hopefully. Are you? How long you been around here in Pacific Beach, by the way?
I'm born and raised in San Diego, but I've lived
Really?
off and on.
Off and on. Nice. What have you noticed here, like in Pacific Beach, from your time here? What are pros and cons of living in this area? Give me one.
Well, I mean, it's expensive, but it's probably well worth it.
That's good. I like that one.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would fucking relate to that.
It's pretty cool to be able to like walk to a beach
Yes.
in one of the nicest places. Like,
I was just gonna say, I've been to Maui last year, and there's parts of Pacific Beach where if I'm standing there long enough and I'm just looking and being kind of, patient with the nature, man, it is, bar none, it's just as beautiful, if not more.
yeah, it's cool. And like hundreds of people go watch the sunset.
Yeah.
That's why I started the sunset post. Did you see those?
Yeah, I did actually.
People started to ask.
Just
You
right
can
off
see
the
it on-
get-go, we're going to check this thing out right here. This is the Pacific Beach. So if for the users and the people watching this who are probably confused and don't understand what's going on, I just want to paint the picture a little bit. So we've got Pacific Beach, the page itself, and we have the guest that we have today. He's the owner / curator and the person who runs this page. So the mask is now revealed. And you're the guy behind the wall.
It was revealed like
Nobody's
off and on.
talked to you. I don't think. So anyway, thanks for giving me the exclusive rights on that one, buddy.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that.
This is the first live one.
This is the first live one you've done. I don't think very many people are doing live podcasts like this.
Yeah, I think people are just too off and on.
I don't like the
phone.
editing part. That's primarily the reason. So that way, when we're done here, it's already live and posted. I don't have to go back and do anything with it.
Yeah.
What?
Like you don't watch anyone's live on Instagram, do you?
I do sometimes, like if I watch some of their live content. But the problem I have had with Instagram is once you do a live and you're done with it, it wipes away. Like I think it doesn't save or whatever. Like I've tried a few of them and it never saved. So it's like I can't use that content or clip it if I had a really good conversation. So it kind of ruins it for me.
You can't sit.
Like I tried where I was done.
You go live and then you post the story.
Yeah, but then it doesn't what if you want to save it to your phone?
Oh.
Right?
I've no
Stupid.
idea.
Doesn't work. But Facebook, you can do that. Facebook Live will live. And then YouTube for sure is like really good. I even streamed to 2 YouTube channels for backup. But I also have a backup here, like on the computer.
Yeah, this is aggressive, man.
Yeah, well, I went all out, man. This is what I do. I kind of just sit and watch, and then I go in, and then I go in hard. So we're going in.
No, it's impressive. I did most
Thank
of
you.
the first 2 years of that page with like an iPhone 6.
So yeah, walk back to me 2 years. So what made you start? First off, what made you have the guts to call it Pacific Beach, and how did that come about? You just said, I'm going to start a Pacific Beach page. What was going on through your head?
I have a background in like web design and social media.
Gotcha.
So
You went to school for it or something? Or just self-taught?
no, I worked for just a couple different websites.
Nice.
I
Anyone
guess
who would know?
self-taught. I worked for Petco and
Okay.
the last one. Or
Nice. All
the
the cute
last
dogs
website
and
I
everything.
worked
So
for.
you know exactly what people need. You know how to play to the sensitive heart. Just kidding.
Yeah, a little bit. No, but I got I did like informal, like whatever. I just talked to I worked with the Instagram team when Instagram first started.
Really?
Yeah.
When
And I
was
got
that?
it-
Like 2010?
Okay, maybe not when it just started, say 2011.
I don't know if that's when it
Yeah.
just started. So I'm just...
Well, I mean, you couldn't do anything on it for a
Well,
while.
first off, the backup, Facebook didn't own Instagram then, right? It was a separate... Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about
This
after
was
they
like
bought
when you could only post and there's like a 15-second video.
So that's like way back in the day.
Yeah, when I worked for Petco, Dogs of Instagram.
Dogs of Instagram.
Featured like my picture, and I was like, oh, okay, I could kind of see something with Instagram, like leveraging other, just other pages, but like organically, like that was cool that they grabbed my photo. It helps them out, like no one. It's like a mutually beneficial exchange of content.
So then how did you go from like doing that into then wanting to start a PB page?
I knew no one was aggregating good. There's a lot of loose content down here.
Yeah.
People went out to eat, took pictures of their food.
Right.
But you couldn't tag it to most of the places you were at because they didn't have an Instagram. So I went down here after getting the username, and I just like wrote down everyone that had an Instagram, followed them. Like if they had a customer picture, maybe repost if it was good, eat there.
Yeah.
Take a picture. And then
did you tell them beforehand you walked in that, hey, I have this Instagram page, or you just did it without anybody? I
just did it. It needed to I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just kind of doing it for fun.
Right.
I was doing it knowing there was something maybe there.
Okay.
But I mean, it's not like you knew there was going to be a story feature.
Right.
You know, like there was
copying Snapchat.
Yeah.
So what made you go? So you started the page 2 years ago, Pacific Beach, and you had your own you had your own Instagram, of course, your personal profile and all that, and you were just kind of being a user. And then 2 years ago, you go, hey, I see that there's a need. I don't see anybody curating content for the beautiful Pacific Beach, so I'm going to be the guy. And then you made a page and just went at it. Now we're here 2 years later and almost 40,000 people.
Yeah, because people like a normal magazine, they're just like a directory. They just whore themselves out for ad money.
Right.
And that's fine. But I don't know if you're like quite showing like the
is it
best
authentic
hamburger.
enough, right? It's just the highest pay.
And there's like there's a mixture of what the restaurant thinks about it, maybe what the customer thinks about it, and I don't know, this kind of
like
grading.
just
like
people that what is the average, non like kind of paid people just doing their own reviews, like Yelp, so to speak.
Yeah, like
right?
the account wouldn't work if I posted a picture that like it, a really nice hamburger that tasted like shit. Like the whole like no one's gonna be like, oh,
pull this back a little bit, would you? Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be like provide, I don't know, some value to be useful.
You familiar with Gary Vee?
Yeah.
Did you know him? Did you follow him like earlier on? Is that how you learned a lot of this stuff, or?
No, I like followed him loosely.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, I like that, but there's only so much, like, at some point you kind of like just take action. Like you can't get just like.
I see. So you just went in on it and then learned as you were going, obviously, and just figured it out.
Yeah.
Versus me, who sat on this podcast idea for 2 fucking years.
No, I mean, all the restaurants, like you talking about, basically as soon as this page started, it was like the only place like you could post anything.
Yeah.
That was like the center of, I don't know, whatever, social media. No one was doing a community page. So all the restaurants followed. All of them wanted features.
Yeah.
Eventually you figure out which types of posts drive people into the restaurant, and those are the ones you sell.
Nice. Yeah. So is this thing like making you some good side hustle money, or is it main hustle money? What are we talking here? So
I had a marketing company, I guess, for a couple of years. I guess just myself, more freelance, building people websites, starting other people's Instagram.
Nice.
But this is what requires the most attention. Now that there's enough maybe money that there's enough traffic to the account that I could send the traffic somewhere else to whatever,
to get them
smoothie
traffic
shop to make them money to
right.
pay me. When it started, it's just not that impactful. Like,
yeah.
You can't
so to tell me, like when you started to the point that you're at now, did you see sort of like a linear growth in user? Was it exponent? Like how did it grow about? Like did you have like, a 50, 100 and then it went to 10,000 all of a sudden, or what happened? Like how did it go about?
It's 3 years old. There's 38,000. So it's
38,000.
It's almost 800 to 1,000 every month.
Wow.
Organic.
Steady.
I've never ran a bot.
Steady.
Like I like, you'll see me like lose my shit on there. on like other marketing companies.
Because they're just faking. I know they're just like all these generic
Well,
comments.
it's like you're fucking stealing.
Sure.
You know, like you're like, yeah, you're kind of stealing. I mean,
Yeah, I have a serious problem with this. I feel like we're in an inflated economy in terms of viewership and like influencer marketing. We're definitely inflated, and so many of this traffic is just like generated by algorithms versus and like how much of it is actually getting human attention and eyes, and then it's being sold as advertising dollars to these companies, but then they're not getting the same ROI. So it's like I feel like there is some inflation for sure going on in the viewers market.
yeah, it just these places are just sound like they make it sound so complicated.
Yeah. Well, so that's what people don't understand it.
Yeah, you shouldn't even
Lawyer
make
talk.
it. Yeah, you're like, so what? So the first couple paid posts I did, I just went in somewhere, and I was like, hey, I have this social media account. I didn't even break down Instagram or all the features. I have a social media page. I think I could probably take a couple pictures of your happy hour.
Right.
Get some people in here. If you have your own Instagram, we'll some of this will filter into yours, and you'll get some followers. Like I didn't even get super granular. I just, do you want, if they kind of bought in from the beginning?
Yeah.
Most restaurant like owners are like, whatever, like just, yeah, dude. Honestly, if someone shows up, fucking cool, I'll pay attention. And I think one of them, like I posted, or we were eating like a slice of pizza, posted the picture, had like 20-30 minute conversation, and within that time people came in while we were there. So I was like real,
because
like,
you posted
yeah,
on
it's like
social
proof
media.
of concept. Yeah.
Wow.
I usually ask for like a
Dude, you could totally fake that though. Somebody could totally
yeah,
fake
you
that.
totally could, but like the point was like to do this like the right way, and like make money off of it, and you'll never really like.
You won't do
how's
that
it
in the
gonna
long term.
sustain
No, I totally
itself?
get it.
Yeah.
I was just playing,
yeah.
you know.
Or maybe some people turn it around, but
You gotta fake it till you make it. It doesn't work in the internet world too much because truth will come out, and then I feel like how do people redeem themselves on the internet nowadays? It's like
because people forget.
True, but it's like you were talking earlier, people get so mad and then they just like become cultish about I don't want nothing to do with this person. I don't know. I'm not anybody big or anything, but I just see it as a pattern where there people become like so identified with I don't like this person's content. Like the one person I can speak about is Jordan Peterson, a guy I follow a lot. He's a psychologist. But people have just so much like hate for that guy that don't understand him, what he's worth. And like just things like that. Well, I don't know, can he ever redeem himself? Like with those people, probably not. So it's like, why there's all these like polarizations happening coming out of content that people are trying to put out.
Yeah, I know Jordan. Wait,
Yeah, Jordan Peterson.
he's been on Rogan's podcast.
Yeah,
right?
he has.
What's his political stance like? What's he in hot water about?
Well, the big thing was people call him kind of transphobic because he fought for legislation in Canada. I guess they were trying to pass something at a university level, I believe. I'm not entirely sure if it was university or higher than that, but the gist of it was that there's all these, proper pronouns that transgender people want to be called by, like outside of he and she, and there's like about 20 or 26 of them, I think. I'm not entirely sure of the number, but his whole thing was that no, you cannot put legislation around free speech. You cannot dictate what I have to say to somebody. That's my right. Like, I don't have to call you anything. Like, I don't have to call you by your name. I can call you what I want. Like, once you start doing that, his bigger problem was, well, where do you draw the line? Because now you've let something in. It's like now you're pushing the boundaries and you don't know where you're going to stop because now you're going to restrict all this speech. So he's a very, very smart guy. A lot of people don't know like how much work he's actually put into what he's saying. Like his arguments are formed to like reference biblical text, to reference like different sort of, psychological text, philosophical text. Like he does kind of like the aggregation of knowledge and he's very well spoken. If you just listen to him in long format, not edited, like on Rogan's podcast or on his own lectures. I mean, the dude has all this lectures on YouTube. So, that's basically his whole thing is that he wanted to we can't legislate what people should be saying.
What about like just not even paying attention to that? No,
yes.
And I'm not saying I don't. I actually that's always on. I know what you mean exactly with all the pronouns, but like, what if by just like not even showcasing that shit? Like, not.
Well,
like,
that was
you
just
know
the
how you just,
mainstream
like,
media's like way
Yeah.
of, you know, blowing it up.
Sorry, it's in my eye. Like the transgender, like the track shit. Like some of this is just getting ridiculous.
The
Where
what?
like, it was a high school track.
No, I don't know the story.
Oh, it was biological males running track against females in high school.
Oh, okay.
But they're affecting like the way, like, you know, I don't know, whatever, a born female, that's affecting her scholarship. There's like
Sure.
a lot of other
No,
things.
I get
like,
it.
So I'm like, I don't even think you should address it. You're not a chick. It's not a big deal either. You just like, dude, I'll call you whatever you like. Yeah, back to the legislating thing. Probably not good, but
Yeah.
like, no, you can't do these like very objectively just ridiculous shit. Like you got a dick, dude. Like, you're not like, you're affecting the outcome of too much of other people's lives for a kind of an insignificant thing, I think.
Yeah, I mean, for him specifically, I don't know what happened, but my point was, I guess the reason I was asking you the question is, I see that social media is like playing to the lowest common denominator. It's playing to the rage inside of people. It's playing to like the knee-jerk reactions. There's so much negativity in comments of everything that I see. But then there's like, for me, I've taken kind of like the thing that I'm going to only put out content that either makes you think a little bit or at least makes you feel a little bit better about your day. I don't want to put out anything that sounds like polarizing or whatever. Like, that's just my personal like choice. Mm-hmm. But that's, you know, I'm trying to bring a little bit of change in that, in the social media game community. But what about like what you're seeing? What have you noticed since you started this page and now you have 40,000 people and you're going to have a variance of no matter what you put out, people are going to have some certain amount of people love it. Some people don't like it at all. And they're just kind of there always.
Yeah. I mean, I've posted, like, you can kind of tell which one's going to be a little.
Yeah. I mean, your personality comes through on the page sometimes. That's why I was curious to talk to you, because I've seen you post sometimes like fights. I mean, you post content from all over. You post like really beautiful sunsets and people like, you know, hanging out to like people then going out drinking on the weekends and then like getting in trouble and like people get in trouble with cops. And then my favorite thing that you do is that like, I think on every Wednesday or Thursday, you're like, hey guys, don't get your ticket. Because we have street parking, street sweeping stuff. So I think people love that.
People are stoked because, like,
oh, that's the best.
Fuck, like, 50, like, it's just.
Oh, you saved me, dude. I went outside and you saved me the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, you made me. It wasn't that I was parked in the wrong place, but you made me go out and check and make sure that I wasn't parked in like the place where they're gonna do street sweeping. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
There should be like some cool apps that are probably coming out. On like. The ones I've looked at are still just like, dude, just set an alarm on your phone. They're not even. Yeah. They're a little better, but.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of just a ridiculous way to make money off. I don't know.
Well,
go ahead.
Going back to what I asked earlier, though, it's like now you've gone to 40,000. Like, what is it? Are you able to make a living off of this now or not yet?
Yeah, 100%.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's less about the 40,000. Like.
Hey, bring this up a little higher, would you?
There's a lot of.
I want to hear your voice. You know,
I got a deep voice. That's why I talk softer, because I'm just like, and I'm smoking. But so out of that 40,000, there's probably 4 to 5 million views a month. So that's kind of saying like everyone that follows like is like watching this shit. Like so
it doesn't matter what you put out, people have eyes on them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, like, I can't, like, I mean, if you put out shit, they're just going to, like, figure out something else to do with their time, I guess, but,
actually, I really question that, because my curiosity really came into, like, where does the point come where people go from, like, okay, I'm kind of done with this person's content, and then they leave, like, I'm sure you've had that curiosity, too.
Oh, yeah. Not even curious, when people tell you.
Like, I'm done with your shit.
Like some dude today about like the cross tickets. Like he's like,
what'd you post today?
Well, what happened was that it's raining this weekend. I don't know if like people don't like the lineup, but people are showing their cross tickets. There's a shit ton. There's like a fucking 100, and I was like, I can't post all these. So make your own post, bro. Instructions, but it only lasts a couple days. But you could rub people the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like I I don't care. I look at the views. It's mostly positive feedback. It's way easier to get like you get more, or me, like I get. It takes a lot to maybe make me happy with the pod. Like you get. That's why there's so much negative stuff. You just like.
You have thick skin. You have thick skin. I can tell already.
I mean.
So, because my next question to you would be like, how do you handle, like, I know that if somebody leaves a bad comment on anything I post, and I have barely like 700 followers, but the way I look at it is if somebody posts something, I really try to analyze, like, is this person just misunderstanding what I'm saying? Or did I actually like say something incorrect here or whatnot? Like, I'd really go fucking hard and I really analyze what I've done, but it's weird. Like for you, you're at a scale where you can't do that. It's not possible. You'd do that all day long if you started to do that. So,
well, one, it's once removed from like my personal one. Yeah. So it's more like I'm like I'm the host
the admin. Of it. That's true. That's true. Makes sense.
But it is me talking, and I've had at times like some help on there. Not any like the first year. Call it. Like a couple different people had to log in. You go out, maybe I just didn't want to go out this weekend. And the views fall off. Like people just, it's not whatever I'm saying. It's like you could do it. Like it's about being consistent. Like Fair enough. Know what to expect. So, yeah. And
I think that's key what you said. It's like I think you're consistently building the same type of content which people are used to. And then that way they're, they know what they're getting, and then they'll stick around if this is what they like. And if not, then great, you move on to something else.
And I have all grades of people telling me, like if I make a spelling error, there's a couple people just like close friends, like other than like anonymous people, like, hey, fucking dickhead, and you spelled this wrong. Like this doesn't make sense.
Friends are really nice.
Yeah, no, but I would rather, yeah. But that's cool that they're watching, and it's cool they gave a fuck to be like, hey, switch this. So back to do I like? I mean, people tell me when it's good or bad. I guess, like, I try not to shit on too many things. There's some people that like I've definitely rubbed the wrong way, but like,
yeah. What's the biggest negative that's come out of all this for you?
I mean, getting kicked out of bars because someone doesn't want you there because
of the page.
Yeah,
really. Tell me about that. And who is it? Let's call them out. I'm just kidding.
Nah, they're cool. I mean,
what happened? Tell me. Can you talk about it?
I mean, it's just obviously my mouth's a little loose.
So wait, how did they know that you even are you the guy running the page? So let's start there. So you walked into this business, this bar, and then they're like, and then what?
I don't know. I would just assume someone pointed. It's not super hard now.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and it's just a little weird.
Were you like posting content in there, or?
Nah, no, not that time. Yeah.
So they just kicked you out just because you have a page that they don't want you in.
I mean,
there.
you never know. I kind of like maybe roast some people, but in a playful way.
Sure.
And a lot of these, like there was like a 10-part series about this like jogger.
Where do you come up with this?
Cheese dick. He had so many sweatbands on and just like an asshole. So he sent it. Someone sent it to me, or I think maybe I don't know. It doesn't matter. I got in contact with the guy. I was like, hey, are you cool if I like kind of run with this and like I'm gonna like light shit on you?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, dude, fucking go for it. So I was like, all right, cool. And so I did that, and there's a couple people that sent like just like selfie videos of telling me like I'm like mean to this person. I'm like, yeah, I'm not saying I'm maybe not, but you don't know that I don't have like. I'm not saying that happens with everyone, but in that particular case, because I went a little like more aggressive.
I don't know the whole story. Can you tell me about it? It was just some
guy like I just made fun of this dude running in like a very
different colored joggers.
Yeah, it was just he just looked so. He just looked like a
out there.
Yeah, like a headband, and
he's like like just one of those 70s like neon shit on, and you're thinking like this guy just looks silly for today.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, and yeah, so I was making fun of him. Someone fucking you know, I wanted to defend him, say I shouldn't be making fun. So yeah, people are assholes.
people get caught up in it. I mean, that's fine. They're just being playing good citizen, right? Like, hey, don't be rude or mean, but they don't know the backstory.
Yeah, and some of them,
which is why you come to this podcast to listen.
Yeah, some of them, like, someone is being a dick, and like, I don't know. That's what you try and not do. Like, I don't shit on any food, or like, I'm not like, don't eat here, eat here.
You're not trying to hurt business.
Yeah, it's just supposed to be useful. Like, now that it's a business, it's like, does it help the follower? Does it help the follower?
Move back, yeah. Just get comfortable with it. I think about like right here is good.
Hit this pen.
Yeah, go for it.
There's just a lot of communication on it right now. It's like a lot of chat. Like it's I wish you could use it. Like you show me that desktop app.
Yeah.
And it'll work for a direct message.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Because you just thumb out like 300 or 400 messages.
Yeah. How fast is your typing? You ever try to like calculate this?
Text to talk, and
you just talk into it.
Yeah, and it comes out like you gotta speak like a robot, and it comes out a little shitty, and it's like people kind of get it. Like they don't care.
How much of your day goes into this? All of it?
Well, there's like regularly probably like 25 different businesses that are on there.
Like every day?
Not every day, just like.
What do you mean by 25 businesses?
There's 20. So, like the Reader is one of the last posts. The Reader, we advertise for their quarterly events. I don't know if they're quarterly. They're every couple of months.
Got it. I see. So you're like saying, go to this place. Got it.
So it's getting those pictures from them.
So you took the content. You made the.
I didn't take that one, but almost every business has done kind of like hybrid. Some of the restaurant or whatever establishment, some of the customer, and some me. Mostly, I try and do none of the restaurants. I don't want bias. Like I want content from like the consumer most.
Push this back. I'm having a hard time hearing you. Like, see how far mine is?
Oh, push it back.
Push it back, yeah. So that way it's like in front of you.
I got you.
Yeah. Now you sound so much better. Do you hear yourself?
I sound the same.
You sound much better to me.
All right, it's good. Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
So yeah, you're saying at any given time there's like 25 people, companies that are like having their content on this page, shuffling through.
Yeah. Between most of them are monthly, I guess.
Okay.
Some show up once, some show up regularly. The people that know.
Do you have like a whole system on how you do this, or you just?
Yeah, I have like a whiteboard. I build a little storyline. I get up in the morning and I write the different brands or businesses that need to be advertised, like
for the day, for the week, for the day.
And
wow.
then I'll see what if we took content there, if we need to take content there, if I got to go grab a bird and go.
Gotcha.
Or I have some like, we'll call it influencer cards, like at different places. So like, hey, do you want to go like have a cocktail and like appetizer for free? Just like go to this bar. It's under this name. Wow. So I'm gonna do more of those. I want to have like some kind of Easter egg hunt, not Easter egg hunt, but yeah, like an Easter egg hunt.
So where are you coming up with all these ideas, man? Just creative? You have a team? How are you doing all this?
It's me and just a couple part-time people, but it's mainly me. A lot of it like feels like it feels like common sense now. But no one bothers to learn how to use Instagram. Like,
so tell me then, so that's a really good point. So tell me, what are some things that you think are so easy that people could do to improve their page or whatever, or if they're following or they're influenced?
Take advantage of like did you it's like fill out the form. Like when you make a post, you're like, do you have content? Like, okay, is the picture good for your fault? Like, would anyone want to see this? Because they're not going to deploy it to anyone if it's like maybe not on brand. Like they're like looking at all your relationships constantly. That's why maybe the PB page does a little better because all the restaurants follow each other. It's kind of like a little ecosystem. So if you're into like motorcycles or whatever and you post a picture of like some vegan recipe, it's just not what they're gonna. That's not what they're. You're like, all your relationships are based off something else. We're not going to deploy this. There's other things where, like I have an SEO background, and there's a lot of SEO companies that do just a lot of A/B testing of square picture versus like a big one picture with like writing on it or not.
So you're saying a lot of this you just know because you did trial and error and you just did it.
Yeah, they release these features to giant brands that do it over thousands or millions of people, and they have a decent strategy going into the new set of features or whatever. You know, like everything is so geo-specific, weighted heavy for localized
on Instagram in general. You mean
just in life? You know, like you usually want something
local.
Yeah, local or fast, so it has to be local. So when you don't put when we fill out the little geotag
when you're making a post,
yeah, that's one little thing that Instagram's like, dude, like
we don't know where this is. Why are you
like,
doing? Yeah, fair enough.
So you like you
every post do a geotag,
and they're fucking annoying. I know. That's why you're not doing them.
Are you talking about the main post or the story or both?
Both.
Both.
Like they need
always put a geotag.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been like intuitively kind of doing that lately.
When I think they started to downgrade when you put it in hide shit too. Like
say that again?
Like on the story, you could put something up there and like fling it so it's kind of hidden, or put it behind.
Oh, I see. So, yeah, I see what you're saying.
I'm pretty sure they know.
I do that all the time. Where like if you have a picture and then you want to put your hashtag behind the picture, so that way it's not
like everyone's like oh, I don't know what to post. You're like, or say you're like, put all the known things. You're like, it's a hamburger. Where's it from? Put the geotag, like, and then you'll start to be like, ding, ding, ding,
I know.
Ding, ding,
okay,
like,
so that's the key to the hashtags. Then
I don't even use hashtags anymore because
really,
but
then to have somebody grow. So let's talk about what would you use still hashtags if you're still trying to grow more, like somebody like me?
Do you search hashtags?
I think what Instagram has been doing, it's been recommending hashtags that I end up liking pictures from.
Yeah, I don't use them. So that's why I can't even make a case for myself. Like, I think it's better to
geotag.
I think, yeah, to geotag, like, add all the features. If those are restaurant posts, like, tag the restaurant. Like, the more information you can give, the more they have to make a decision whether they should be putting this in front of people. I think the likes are going to go away.
What do you mean?
Like, because people are making just they're trying to game the system,
with the bots.
Of likes. So yeah, I'm sure these guys, like, I don't know, they're way smarter than me. Like Instagram engineers, like trying to combat all this bullshit. They should be working on like other things, and they're just be like, fuck it, dude. Let's just close the likes, and maybe high like accounts are orange or something. But
so like, just put them in a bracket.
Yeah, it's almost like you guys can't behave. You're making a bunch of bots for likes. Like, who cares? Like,
so how does it work? So the likes show like what content is hot, so to speak, and it tries to promote that with the algorithm to put it at the top results. Is that how I think the algorithm works? And then I think what you're saying is people are skewing the number of likes they're going to get per post. So a lot of like content is getting promoted, but it's not authentically produced. Promoted because they're not authentic likes, or they're like likes made by people's accounts, but they're like not actually being even done by the person. It's done by a bot using their account.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just weird. I don't see the
crazy.
Point if you want to do like this, or if you're like, what? I'm vegan always comes to mind, but like I want to have a vegan account. How do I get followers? Like, I don't know, like fucking be a vegan and then post it. Like,
be authentic.
Like, yeah. Like. I don't know. Like,
so you're saying too many people are trying to go for the likes and the following. They're not being authentic.
You're trying. Yeah. You're just like, what's like the easiest way to like, that's not what you should be trying to do. You should just be like, maybe you don't really want to do this.
I see. Maybe you should reevaluate why you're getting into this. Well, why? Well, if you're not going to do it right, I like what you're saying because you started the conversation by saying that when you started this page, you wanted to do it right.
Yeah.
And so you went in on it hard. You went in on doing it the proper way. So you're absolutely right. I think that is the root of why people ask, well, what's the shortcut? And that's true. It's like if you're trying to look for the shortcut, then you're probably not into it that much.
Yeah, and there's also, call it in the realm of marketing, different levels of, I guess this would be now like some kind of lead generation, right? Like everything is like trying to get a
traffic
sale
to
lead.
something. Yeah.
And there's things that are more like blatantly obvious that it's a marketing platform.
Right.
And ones that are maybe different,
that's okay.
Different, I don't know, blends of that. This one is, I'm pretty obvious with everything. So there's no shock I give like off. Like you're fine with seeing like an advertisement because it's like relevant. It's not a tied advertisement. Like I'm not whoring myself out for like, I don't know, Sony. Like if I put Vaughn's up there, I actually put a Vaughn's post up. Only because the $5 chicken, it doesn't. But like, it was useful, And
sure. And then Vaughn's is local, right here to Pacific Beach, and it makes sense.
Yeah, but if I had, if Vaughn's threw like mad bread to like do something, and I have to put like, this is a sponsored ad.
That's you.
Yeah, this is a sponsored ad by Vaughn's. Blah blah blah. You're like, this dude's like fucking like, this isn't cool now. So,
because this guy is now like kind of. You can see the transaction and you can see that it's inauthentic. You can see that you don't want any part of it.
Yeah.
Trying too hard.
Yeah. The whole point we're here is so we didn't see like, because this
the
wasn't
commercial.
here. Yeah.
Yeah. The whole point was, that's what was funny is people are like, oh yeah, why don't you just run a commercial from TV on Instagram? Yeah. It's because that's what people don't want to see that. They don't want to see that.
Yeah. It has to be like really meaningful. Like why am I like even a post like, dude, someone wanted to see the whale, and it was half off wing, like everything.
How does this scale to an individual though? Like, so you're running an aggregate page, but an individual is kind of running an aggregate life, where they're trying to post like different aspects of their life, and try to build their own personal brand.
But maybe like,
use me as an example, right? Like I have my Instagram page, and then I have the podcast, the studios page. Like the studios page is going to really just have content about the studio, not really much about my personal life. But my personal page is going to have content of all the different interests that I have, when I travel, when I meet like big customers versus like when I'm just chilling at home or hanging out with my, at the beach. So like, it's like a flavor, like you have to be really interested in what I'm doing, and like.
That's fine.
Right. So like, what do you think that like, is that different than?
I think it's the same. It's like if you like gardening and you like, I don't know, smoking weed.
Sure.
If that's in the rotation of people that are following you, and then boom, he's got another episode up. It's just like, it's whatever you're authentically connected to. People will connect with you. If they don't want to, they'll just like not follow you.
They'll go, yeah.
But
there's got to be certain things.
I mean, you have to provide some kind of value. Like they're probably following you because like every time you do smoke weed, you're like, this is how I clean my pen, or this is how I clean my bong.
Sure.
Or in between episodes, you're not just like, hey, a new episode. You're like, this is the new equipment. Like share
Sure. Like talk about what are your current events of your life.
Yeah, people like.
People are nosy. That's what I noticed. People will watch if you're putting your life out there, even if they don't like you. People will tune in just to check in and see what you're up to.
Exactly. They're not there.
Yeah.
I tell like a lot of the bars, like, what do we post? They're like, dude, when you get there, the first beer, like, it's easy to remember. Someone's sitting in a cubicle. They're like, oh shit,
get a beer.
Opening the beer. You know, like they're kind of like not at. They're just looking. That's why you look at your friend's page. Like
sure.
That's how this whole thing started. You're just
checking in on each other.
Yeah, it's gonna be real creepy when it's like just like, I don't know.
20, 30 years down the line in content, it'd be silly. Nobody's gonna go look back at stuff though. Few people will, but not very many. I think it's funny
when like someone was just saving all her pic. I'm like, who looks at all this shit? Like, that's kind of another thing. Like e-waste.
Digital waste.
Like I have I don't know, terrible core knowledge of like programming, unlike maybe you.
Well, I have just a little bit more terrible than you, but I think together we'll figure something out. So keep going.
Yeah. I think there was like a Netflix documentary about like just storage of excess data.
Bring the mic up a little bit.
Dang, I got like my stomach.
It's okay, dude. No, you look great.
No, I meant like it was growling. Dude,
The mic won't pick it up.
I haven't done shit.
Do you want something to eat? You want me to get some pineapples?
No, I'm good. That's funny.
I got some pineapples. No joke.
I'll probably stare at those. I had wings yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the wings. Nice, man.
Like all the restaurants on here follow each other.
Right.
So if people followed you, like the cannabis company, and like I'm just making shit, like the gardening, like if everyone kind of likes each other, then they'll follow each other.
Sure.
And then
so it's like a community that's all following each other. So you're kind of like in on the community level of what's going on and with these people. Yeah. It's like a virtual community, is what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
A virtual clique.
There's like when you get fake followers, like, dude, like.
I see it all the time. It's like, because it's like, I know I'm not stupid and I see these people doing it. And like, how are you growing so quickly? I know it's fake.
Yeah, that's why they go quiet when you're like, just go ahead and screenshot your insights real quick. Like I show everyone. They're on the like.
Yeah.
Because that's all you need. I don't need your proprietary report. I don't need a graph. Just let me see your phone. That's it.
Oh, don't look at my phone. I know, right? What a shady thing. It's like the.
Oh. Well, you just know because you're lying.
Yeah. Like, can't fake that.
Yeah.
It's all about the engagement. People are trying to fake the engagement, but like if the content, I think the algorithm is looking at if it's contextual, because people are so silly. Like, they don't understand pictures. There's enough advancement in AI where it can parse out what's in a picture and tell you the description. So a lot of like dynamic web pages are built, like the alt text that goes inside of the HTML that describes to the search engine what is you're seeing here in the picture.
That's now available now.
Now you can basically like think about this. You have AI that can just look at an image and then describe with pretty much like high 90s% of accuracy of what is happening in the picture. Because there's a lot of, trained data. Oh, and just a sidebar, every time you get one of those captchas where you have to like pick out like a street, pick every picture that has a sidewalk in it. What you're doing is you're training the data and you're revalidating what the data already knows, like what the algorithm has figured out, and you're just giving it like input. So if enough people do it, it's like, okay, so I think what we have is correct. So that's how you're training the data.
Community QA.
Community QA, pretty much. But yeah, like, so all of this is like, you can look, you dynamically it's figuring out what the picture is that's been posted, and then if the comments in the section have zero context at all, they're all just a bunch of greats, and you can see like the bot comments are all the same basically. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll post the same picture on both accounts, and I'll notice the exact same comments from the exact same people. It's like, yeah, clearly that's being picked up by the algorithm or whatever they're using.
Yeah,
it's too obvious.
I would think. So if you're a marketing company doing that, if you're lying about that, or let's say you're cutting corners about something, it's definitely not where it's stopping.
Yeah.
It is, I don't know. I don't think you're like really doing, you don't really like this then if you're doing it, if you want to cheat,
Sure.
like
you're not really playing it for the long part.
If you like cars or something, like you're going to build a badass motor and you're not going to like hack your way around it. You're like, you're going to bring your piece of
Or they got something. You heard that though. It was like a
Using my left ear.
Yeah, this is not fun. I hope we're still live. Let's just double check. Yeah, I think so. Sweet. Yeah, it's working. Awesome. Sorry. Where were we before that happened?
Oh, I was just shitting on other people.
Oh, okay. Great.
No,
Great.
I think there's a lot of people just like not doing the industry, not the service industry, the marketing industry. Like anyone selling marketing services, any favors by
Lying,
maybe taking advantage
tampering.
of this. Yeah, just go figure out something you want to do.
Because think about what you're doing. You're making a tainted community. Like, why would people want to come on Instagram if all they know is just spot comments and not really like real engagement? Like, you're just tainting the community. Nobody wants to hang around there.
Yeah, like I don't know. I just would never. How weird would it be if I'm like, oh yeah, I like bought all the like, A, this wouldn't work, and B, that's just like,
yeah,
you don't want to cheat, like,
sure,
and it's
inauthentic. It'll come out.
Yeah, and it's whatever. I'm not call it a steroid because steroids you kind of have to still work for something.
Sure.
Like, there's no work to that installation of a bot and like fucking up the platform and seeing little colored hearts everywhere. Like,
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's also like why what we were talking about a little bit before we started is that people are getting depressed because now they're used to these likes and they're used to getting their significance from other people, and so they'll do anything now to call that as their metric of, assessment. So they'll use these bots or whatever to like hype themselves up. And it's like, it's insane. Like that's an epidemic now where people are super depressed. Like I see it all the time with like, I was talking about this the other day with Robert, the guest I had last time, where like you see some of these people that just post really provocative pictures and they have nothing else, no other substance. I mean, to your point, really, like, is that what you're really, I mean, if you're a model and that's your career, like, but that's what you do to just get attention. Like, like a perfectly normal girl will just start posting pictures that are just like,
well, they're just
provocative, just to get views and other people's approval.
But if she does sell, like,
well, yeah, there's no shame in your game, girl. I ain't calling you out. Like, if you're making money doing that, go for it. But
I would say, yeah, I think that's correct. I mean, they're kind of in charge of their mental. They're kind of in charge of their. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that's better.
Their mental health. Like, that this could be bad because it's like, ooh, all this like artificial shit kind of feels good.
Yeah, yeah.
It like manifests it in like, like I guess I kind of feel it. Like when you, yeah, this sounds
better.
Yeah. Cool. Like I build a little storyline. I think about it. It's pretty calculated.
Yeah.
So when it turns out good, I'm like, oh, that's nice. It's who doesn't want to get good like feedback on.
So you're saying like you actually do it, and then when you do it right, you feel like, okay, I found something that works. So now you get a real sense of accomplishment out of it.
Yeah, like there's so many lost animals. We find I don't know. I post and
it is because people sell it to you or send it to you, and then you have a place where people have eyes on, and you facilitate people finding their pets or people finding stolen items.
Yeah,
I mean that's awesome. There's so much theft in PV. It's crazy.
It's like you gamify it a little bit.
Yeah,
I swear people are just like drinking. And they're just like, dude, there's a lost dog. Let's go.
Let's go.
Just hammered. Just go and look. Like that's kind of cool too.
Sure,
whatever.
Sure.
It's fast. Like it's
what I think is gonna be the next like big thing? It's gonna be this just came to my head. It's gonna be like a live stream where let's say there's a PV live stream, and then when you do a live, people send content live. So like where I am, like I can send you a picture from me at the beach, but you're like, doing a live from where you are, and all of a sudden like people can see passerby content. Like imagine that being like sort of a real time. And now imagine scaling this with VR. So you tune in and now you can go to these different virtual locations wherever people are. I can totally see this happening in the next like 10 years, 15 years maximum, but 10 years, in the next 10 years, I can see it happening.
What if you just put like another iPhone on a magnet and just live stream, like, and then just taps at different locations? Like that would work too.
That would work, but yeah, you know what I'm saying, right? Like you could have one base, and then people can send their live streams. So there's no limit of what. Like think about it this way: it's like then you're doing what your TV does. Like you have the guide, so you open up one channel, and now you can see like all these sub channels that people are also live streaming, and so you can from this one place. So like you have this one Pacific Beach Pace, you can go to individual people. Oh, I wonder what people are doing in this business, or I wonder what people are doing at La Jolla Bird Rock versus like how's the surf looking at Pacific Beach or Ocean Beach. But people are doing these streams or like in some way, and then you can just tune into them. They're like switching channels basically. But you're like the host you're like the network where they come to get access to these channels or see them,
I wonder if that will appear in some kind of like custom dashboard. Like
click right.
I could, yeah, it's like further like admin tools, I guess.
Yeah.
And then you get to select out of like,
for sure.
Because like your Explore feed is not, it's yours based off a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's close, but it's not like, I want to see this, and this.
It's very, very sensitive. I've noticed, like, if I just like a certain amount of posts, like maybe like 10 posts of a certain category, like if I like watches, so then it's like, oh my God, you're just loading me up with like the type of Rolex that I want to wear, like whatever, like it'll just show me that same model in every different like configuration, color, and then guess what? The next thing I'm going to get an ad that shows me, like yesterday I saw it for a Daytona. It's a Rolex that I like. It's like this specific Rolex Daytona that I like. It's like got a gold and black. This is the exact one at 23K. It's like right there on my Instagram yesterday. No joke, as an advertisement, but it showed me all of them in the Explore tab. So like it's just so crazy. It's like this computer is like simulating and figuring out what I'm interested in and then selling it to me. So it's like not even a human being involved, This algorithm is doing all the work. I mean, I'm obviously like privy to it, and I understand what is happening. I'm observant of my behavior.
But maybe because I've watched people, there's so much you can hook up to retarget and there's just so many different little platforms to use.
Yeah, like you mean like Snapchat people, or whatnot.
I mean, okay, yeah, like the major platforms, but different. There's a Facebook AdWords, Google Ad, like so many different sponsored, like paid ways of advertising.
Okay. And
it's so maybe grossly done because you can. That's why there's those memes like you're like, oh, how do they know? It's like because they sell the data back to the marketer so they can choose it to target you. And that's kind of fine too, but like you end up just being like, do you want this? Do you want this? We know you're like fucking I got it. But it works as you buy it. Like I mean, I don't know. Like maybe there's just some other shit to show or like.
Yeah, fair enough. Like outside of just the products, and then the same thing with the services. Like all these like people that want to be gurus and shit. Everybody's got an ebook and like a click funnel to like go to their
funnel is just lead generation. Like I used to have a bunch of keyword rich domains for like cannabis, and they ranked well, and then how to form, and it comes that's a funnel. It's like, dude, you're just packed. Like there's this. I'm not gonna shit on. Yeah, I'm gonna shit on her. Like she learned how to make a Squarespace app or a website, and is now selling that. And since there's such a separation between a lot of businesses that
they don't know how to make a website,
anything, that she's considered the same, and I guess it's fine. Like maybe she has better salesmanship or something. But you fuck it up. When you fuck it up, that like business hates going back to another marketing company because he's like, oh, you guys are fucking liars. Like that's why every time I work with someone, I'm like, well, not now, but in the beginning, I'll do it free. Like, let's just figure it out. Pay me out of new money. But,
fair enough.
Yeah, dude, I get
value
over
first
the marketing thing. Because like
someone
will see an
thank you. No, this is valuable for me. I want to know because I'm trying to build a brand too. So I love what you're saying. So thank you for sharing, man. This is great. It's good for me. I don't really care who else is. I do care, but
but I mean,
I think other people will find these useful that are, like there's plenty of people that are trying to do this, but then they kind of get disheartened, or they along the way they're like, well, I see other people using bots, so like, is it really wrong? It's kind of like the same thing when I was a bodybuilder. It's like, well, everybody's using steroids to be at the top of the game, so are you gonna do it?
But you still gotta go to the gym.
But I know. But it's kind of like that, right? Like you're getting up there, but it's not really. It's like. It is and it isn't, because like, okay, so let's say you do get a bot, but it's still, you don't get the end result. So let's say you do take steroids, it doesn't make you the world champion.
I'll go a pro on a bot. And kind of it's like email marketing, like there's a tasteful way to like target, like every Monday an event schedule goes out and all the comments in the 921, like that wouldn't be a big deal. And that would be maybe an ethical way of using it, because people receiving that are like, oh shit, like that's a good piece of information.
Sure.
it's not like a yellow heart where you're just trying to get my attention and show that I looked at it, so you get an impression count. Like that's like you're working for like an extremely short term thing until they figure out how to combat you from doing that. You know? So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of fun things to do. Just do whatever you want to do, and just
so what
use the
what
tools.
is it that you're trying to like get out of this page, or your intention to accomplish out of the page?
Well, right now, the I guess the most serious thing, other than like new flavors of hot wings, are making. There's a petition for to make Kate Sessions and I guess like Mission Bay and all the sand off leash during the day.
What does that mean?
For dogs.
So dogs can't go there?
Right now right now you can't. What is it? They always have to be leashed.
Dogs have to be leashed at the beach.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Really? Okay.
And it's a fat ticket if you're not leashed. But people have dogs. You know, there's dog happy hours. Like, there's nothing wrong with having a dog. There's parks for everyone.
Yeah.
I don't really see.
So what? So I'm sorry, I didn't catch your position. Are you saying that like the dog leash thing is good or is bad?
What we were saying was things that are going to happen on the page that are a little more serious other than like food.
Yeah. So it's like the dog leash
like the direction. Issue. Yeah. Like, okay. Yeah. It's kind of a political issue. It's,
are they trying to pass like laws against this?
Trying to like, I guess, abolish that time frame of when dogs are allowed. They want to kick dogs out of
PB. Or just in general.
Just in general. Like, there's a couple schools that are like soccer fields. There's just informal spots to like take your dog that there's, giving $500 tickets out.
Wow.
So,
I mean, part of it, like the only thing I can see for the dog leash thing that you mentioned is that I've seen some people walking around, like I'm not that tall. I'm like 5'6" if I'm wearing like shoes with a little bit of padding on them, I'm like 5'5.5", dude.
I'm not very big either.
Yeah. So it's like, if I'm walking around and I see a dude with like one of those massive dogs that I see, that thing, if it stands up, it's piling me down on the ground.
Yeah, and that
like
guy's
I would be afraid
though. Like, I have a huge dog, and he's like, I don't know, I'm in control of him.
Yeah. Are you though?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Off leash, like I can.
It's hard to generalize that for everybody though.
And I don't think anyone has to have crazy like levels of training.
Yeah.
But
I've never owned a dog.
There are already rules like your dog can't bite anyone. Like, if you leave shit somewhere, isn't that littering? Isn't that already a thing that you can't do?
Yeah.
Like, there's
so you're saying they're doing too much with the leash thing. Like there's already, like, okay, so I see. I think I get your point.
Well, it's like, what are we doing with parks then? Just
so if you got to walk them around on a leash, then what is the point of a park if the dog can't run around?
I walk him on a leash a lot, but part of what makes it a good dog is socializing with other dogs.
Sure. But they want you to do that exclusively at a dog park.
Yeah, which is just, they're the size of like an apartment. Like,
yeah, that's true. Dog parks are not very big.
Yeah, they're dirty. Like,
people don't clean up the poop there.
I think there should probably be like maybe a private dog park. That would be cool.
That would be dope.
Yeah.
I was thinking there's already like doggy hotels and stuff.
Yeah.
And like doggy daycare type stuff.
Like a good dog owner, like, will pay whatever a reasonable.
Oh, look at the dog walkers. People pay these guys to just, now there's apps that you can just pay. My neighbor was telling me his friend makes $120,000 a year dog walking.
Damn.
Dang, dude.
Damn.
Dang.
That's some miles though. He works for that.
Yeah, but still, dude, look at how hard your life is, for real.
That's true.
Look at you just like posting all day long, twiddling your thumbs. You're gonna have carpal tunnel one day. You're gonna be fucked, dude. You can't keep this up very long. You better figure this out quick.
That's why I switched to text to talk.
What if your vocal cords go, baby?
They probably going with all this.
Yeah, with all this.
The weed.
So.
Yeah, fuck, I don't know. I think there's some micro political awareness to bring.
Yeah. I like that, and I appreciate that because you have some weightage over that. Like, okay, that's justifiable. Like, I think I agree with you in certain ways for sure. It's just then you have to present the case, and now you have an audience. See, this is cool. Like, you have sort of a sounding board. You have people behind you that if you wanted to then traffic channel them to like sign a petition. You could be like, hey guys, that's powerful. But then also my question would be, you could be nefarious. You could be potentially acting badly because you have 40,000 people. You could, but then again, like you said, I think to your point earlier, it's like if you do that, how long are you planning to last? You're trying to play this for the long term. Yeah, you're gonna go out.
Like the
quick.
Standard in a lot of city websites is having a transparency tab. Like, I already got a GoFundMe
for this page.
Yeah, because I was charging for apartment rentals,
Ooh.
but there's just too many, and there wasn't enough money to. It was just like, let's just get them up. But I'll probably have like a GoFundMe like donation, like
you should, yeah. People should support.
The end of the month, like whoever gets one of like fucking 50 parking tickets, like will pay for it, or however much money's in there.
Sure,
so, like, that's what a community or government fund should be like. I try and look at all these like nonprofits. I'm like, okay, I'm an idiot, but they shouldn't be that hard to figure out. Shouldn't there be like a community?
You're right,
because
where does that where does that money go? How do you have no idea who's using it how? Yeah, it's not transparent enough. I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah, and that's not okay.
Yeah,
it's also, you should just want to show the real results.
Yeah,
in case they're not good and you have to tweak something so they become fucking great.
Sure.
Like, don't lie to yourself and just like I'm like, bitch, why do you need all this money? Like, where's it going? Like, oh, picking up trash. That's why, I was like, well, how much trash did you pick up? I'm talking about a specific. I'm not gonna name it, but
specific like organization,
a nonprofit.
Yeah.
So I was like, how much trash you pick up?
I mean, this is not a question that you're asking that's unreasonable. Everybody, I don't donate to a lot of those unless I like for sure know who's in charge.
Yeah.
Like, I don't just give money away. I would rather give my money personally to somebody in need and help them or buy them food or whatever and do that instead. Hell yeah, I totally get what you're saying.
And when it's not easily like, what does the charity do? Oh, they do this and it goes there. As soon as it gets a little like, wait, where's it go? What happens? And it's like these 3 more people. Did you want
a whiskey or anything?
No, I'm
you good?
Go ahead, yeah.
Okay, good. It's Friday. I mean, people are going to happy hour right now, so we're just straight sipping up water here. Cheers, baby. No alcohol for us.
Ooh.
No, I totally get what you're saying. These nonprofits, we don't know where the money is going. We don't know who's actually utilizing it for what.
Maybe
we should have a community fund. Hell yeah, we should help the people in our community. I'm for you. This is what you're doing. You're actualizing part of the vision that a lot of people have in their head. But you're actually, and I'm so happy that you're at the helms of this, man. I'm so glad that you're here to like kind of give me some light into that's what you're doing, because I can see that there is well intention behind your page, but there's also there's your flavor. Like, it comes out, your zest. I've seen you post some stuff that's just pure, just funny, and it's just nothing more. And you're just like, a normal like marketed page would never have approved that, or never have gone to do that. But you're like, dude, I got people here. I'm not serving anybody. I'm serving the people. I'm giving them what they want.
Yeah. Or just doing whatever I think's like it's Friday right now.
Sure.
Like there's probably a bunch of people like sending like there's like a pulse.
And is your phone? Do you turn your notifications off, or do you have to? Is it buzzing all day?
Yeah, I turned all the notifications off.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it drained the battery. It'd just be annoying.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. That's fair enough. Phone buzzing all the time. How many messages do you think you get a day, roughly?
Like 300 maybe.
300, 400.
A couple hundred, yeah.
And then you try to go through all of them by the end of the day. Like, you have like a. What are you doing? Like, when every time you're in between something, you're just checking and replying to messages.
I try and pay attention. I try and like there's a lot of businesses we work with, so there's a lot of content coming in from those specific ones.
It's kind of weird that the Instagram doesn't have a way of kind of bifurcating, like here's like your first tier messages and like, second tier. They're kind of doing that with the people that follow you and people that don't follow you, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's it's not good at all.
It's not good at all. The platform's premature in some ways.
But I mean, like, how much do you need to say? Like, they're quick, but everyone knows how to like talk. Like,
What do you mean?
Get the point across. You know, these aren't long-winded things.
Or it's just a piece of content that somebody's sending you to repost.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of those.
I mean, there's good questions. Like, there's a ton of like bachelorette parties or people that like just land, open Instagram, hit P, and like oh, what the fuck's going on? You know, like, so that might be like a better 2019 initiative. Like I should have. I mean, there's a website that goes with this, but
I saw
these
it.
are the happy
That's for
hours.
like the people to send in stuff, submissions, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna start like some kind of like text deal because I have like a couple.
People would sign up for a text messaging service if there was like something for sure. I think you would.
Yeah. And they know I'm not gonna like fucking
and
text fuck them all day long.
Sure,
like,
sure.
I like some along the lines of like a pop up, kind of like, hey, for 2 hours right now, Coors Lights are $1 over here. So you know, like some shit like that.
Yeah. I like that. Man, you're really thinking about this. I love it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a lot of. I mean, it's kind of a cool opportunity, I think.
No, you're definitely playing in the modern day of what is hot and what is like gonna be the gateway to whatever is coming. Like this is, if you're not playing in this arena today, then you're basically like kind of like back, when tech was just starting out. It's like you're blissfully ignorant intentionally and you're just avoiding it. Like that's the whole. What's your stance on people that are just bashing social media? Like I definitely understand the psychological like problems with it, having gone and suffered through some of those myself. And it's like, but this is like you're knocking the hammer, it's a tool.
I think probably
you're knocking it for bashing heads. Like, yeah, no shit. There's a right way to do it, and then there's a way that. But we haven't been trained. That's kind of the thing, right? Like we've been given this awesome technology, but nobody's been trained on like, here's because it's there's no doubt that this is abusing your biological impulses, right? The reason you have it in a certain way is because it releases a little bit of dopamine to encourage your body that action of swiping continuously, because it's like, oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? Oh my gosh, let me look at this. And then you're like, oh my God, it's been 2 hours and I haven't done shit. I've just been like going back and forth between my different platforms. I mean, I'm sure like earlier on you used to probably be in that loop, but I know so many people are in that loop. I see it all the time. They're just mindlessly just going, but they don't even know what's possessing them. It's almost like this thing just comes over you.
I think it's because you have nothing else to do. And that's probably...
I don't know, man. People sit at offices, they have jobs, but then like they get pulled into this vortex of like Instagram scrolling or like Facebook maybe less now, I don't know, but like Instagram scrolling for sure. Like let's stick to that. But like, I see it. I've worked in offices. I see it. Like it's not just people that don't have anything to do. It's just like, it's almost like a possessive sort of thing, right? Well, so that's why I'm curious. What is your take on it? Yeah.
I wouldn't say I was like super into Instagram before I had this.
Yeah.
Like I had my page. I loosely posted things on it. I knew how to, I guess, use Instagram, but I wasn't, I don't remember especially being like, oh, I like love this. Like a lot of photographers like just,
that's what it was for. It was made for people that are photographers of taking pictures.
Like, I was like, I'm not like, I don't really want to do that. And like, so what do you use it for? Like now, you can, use it for something. Like it was like, okay, so all business brands get these, they post pictures of shit. Like what other things would be helpful to add for like all these features like that are like used for like whatever the normal user, they're like deployed to the brands for, like they're a business driven thing. Like, like Warby Parker, Macy's, and Nordstrom's, they get like the features, like the beta versions of shit.
Of these apps and the features?
Yeah. Or like
really? I didn't know that. It makes sense. So that way you're saying they do the testing for these companies to see what works and doesn't, because they already have such a high following.
Right. I mean, maybe they're partly getting tested because they have high followers because they're a brand, or maybe...
They do that to probably influencers too, right? The people that have millions of followers, they probably give them the earlier versions for the same reason.
Yeah. A lot of those. Did you see last week, 2 weeks ago?
Which was
2 weeks ago when they cut the. They killed accounts with like that were displayed like spam behavior.
Huh? No.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean.
And what classifies as that?
Probably if there was ever a business that had a business, because you can track that, right? A business API, whatever, like you can see how whatever was hooked up to an Instagram.
Well, actually, even just knowing a little bit that I've just been experimenting with. So I've been trying to funnel people from Instagram to YouTube to the podcast, right? So what I've noticed is that even on YouTube, if you go to the analytics, it will tell you all the different sources of where people came from. And you can clearly see, like, is it coming from Instagram, or if it's coming from an external web link, or if it's coming from like whatever. So yeah, there's definitely that level of tracking where, I mean, you have a URI, it's a resource indicator, locator, whatever. So it's like, it's there, it's the specifics. You can very clearly figure out where it come from over HTTP. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, fuck, I'm stoned.
Drink some water.
I'm doing some water. I think people overthink, like they have to post things. Sometimes I'll teach like an hour Instagram for business, which is really explaining just the importance of like fill out why you do that. Because for restaurants, it's like the hostess. It's if you ask the restaurant something and you don't hear back, that's like you walking up to the hostess stand and
saying
like,
nothing
them
else
not responding to you. Like, so there's some subtleties with like whatever your average order value is, like consider that a loss. Every DM you get 2 or 3 of those a day.
Yeah.
And that fucking paid for this service and some, like, yeah. So you're kind of dumb if you don't do this. Yeah, it's not. What if that ends up in a bad Yelp review? I hit up their Instagram. They didn't respond. Now you have a shitty Yelp review. And then people are start like, oh, okay. Yeah. Like, I mean.
Yeah. It's people late to the party.
Yeah. It's the largest user base. Like, who gives a fuck if you understand it? It's the largest.
Instagram is the largest right now? Mm-hmm. Wow. Bigger than Facebook? Or.
I don't know how they quantify that.
Yeah. Because it's like their company, right?
Yeah.
It's weird.
I mean. Yeah, I'm sure they have some blend. What do you think of all the manipulation? I saved a bunch of people sneaking up on Facebook, previous Facebook programmers, like riding their bike, being like, "Did you write this algorithm?" Like it showed, like, and they're like, "What the fuck?" Like
to mess with them, or just to see like what it is, or what?
Because they're all the social media platforms are under hot water for manipulating like different feeds.
It says in the terms and agreements that they're allowed to actually do testing on you. Like they're allowed to produce content to see, like, because what they're doing is market research, right? Like what Facebook is doing on a larger scale is what you're doing when you're just quickly checking which post works. But they're doing that on like the biggest scale. They're doing what like works for this person in this state. Like they're going the most detailed possible to the point where you don't even like, they know every breath you're taking, every step you're making, so to speak, when you're on the browser or when you're anywhere. Like they want to just hook onto you and kind of latch on, right? But I mean, loosely speaking, I'm not saying you're doing the same thing, but I'm saying like you're trying to figure out what the people want and give them good content. Facebook is trying to do that, but that's not their main goal. Their main goal is to sell your data and make money off of that and just give it to marketers so then they can market to you better, right? That's their main business model.
Yeah. And I think they assume a lot of those interests. Like, I don't think it's like Donny clicked that he likes soccer. I think they're based off everything that's happening. Sure. They're assuming I like these.
Yeah.
And that's fine too. I don't even care. Like, dude, they're a private company, like, it's kind of weird to have it in so much like political, like, are they skewing it? Are they not?
They're a private company. They're doing what they want to do.
Yeah. All they should say is, they don't have to say anything. Like, does it look like they are? Probably, like, like.
Yeah, I mean, like, I see it. I mean, it's common sense. Of course they are. I have like over 1,000 friends on Facebook. I see the same 8 or 10 people's shit every time I scroll. It's like a comedian said that like checking Instagram or checking Facebook is like opening up your fridge. Every time you go, there's the same shit in there, but you keep going back and opening the door and seeing if anything changed. It's the same thing every time.
They say you're only... Did something change here? Sounds weird.
Lift it up, maybe. Yeah.
They say you get like 30% of your followers show up in your feed. So that's not very good. But,
no, that's...
But, I mean, if you follow a bunch of people, like, you can't... I mean, they got to find...
It's hard to aggregate,
They can't show everything. They got to figure out a way to, like, not show everything and just show like, what does he want? He likes seeing 10 things.
Yeah, and then just show him that. But it's like, it's still early, right? Like this is like the machine that's in formation. The AI is getting stronger and stronger every day. So like, yeah, it's gonna get better at producing you content. I mean, Facebook 10 years from now, if it's all around, it's gonna be much different than what it is today.
I think people should just focus on like probably like the writing. Like what do you like? There's like commercial art built into that. You know, making a post like. My buddy taught me, he like redid a lot of subscription emails for dog food.
Okay.
And when you open that email, there's like 3 things you want to say, like, is it a dog or cat? Is it percentage off? Is it is it a seasonal thing? Like, and there's different weights to those and how you want to display them on a page. So it's like little like short bursts of like user experience. It's like, dude, why don't you learn how to do that and not worry about how, like, gaming the buttons that are gonna fucking change, and you're just fucking it up for the rest of us. Like, that's what like,
I see what you're saying.
How much better would like the software engineers focus on like not cleaning up the trash of all these other bots and like I don't know. It's like going to the gym when you're eating shitty. They could just like always be eating good food and like probably get stronger or something.
Fair enough. It's always the few that ruin it for the rest, right? That's always the case.
But they're not dumb. Like those, like that's just a mismanaged,
There's the immediate, I think, like I said, it's an inflationary thing. It's the quick money, right? Like if I were to come and say, oh, I got 1 million people coming to my page, why don't you advertise with me or whatever? Like you're going to go to the 10 people. I bet you 5 of those are going to find, they're not going to look beyond what you're telling them and just look at the numbers and not actually go deeper to see if they're actual bot followers or what. Because it's still so early, right? It's like the .com bubble, but this is like the influencer bubble, so to speak.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's actually part of what I'm saying is true for venture capital in like Bay Area, Silicon Valley. It's like a lot of these startups, they have like a business idea, so they'll click funnel to like some page, and then they'll have a product there that they're trying to sell. Say like, oh, we get all this traffic, converting and all. Show me the data. Show me the actual data. Like how many people are pulling for that? We're now in a data-driven economy, so to speak. We're starting it, the data-driven world where people are trying to make decisions based off of data. But a lot of that data is so skewed.
It sounds so stressful.
Yeah.
Like, to come up, like, one of my, like, whatever, marketing friends is, it's like, we gotta, like, do, like, a fidget spinner type of thing. I'm like, like, whatever the next little pop, like, culture dumb thing is to get from China. I was like, dude.
The drop shipping stuff you're talking about?
Yeah, like I work for a drop ship. I don't mind that, but like, do you care about the product you're like? I don't give a fuck about a fidget spinner.
Oh,
like,
I know some people that are just doing that full time and they're making bank now.
But maybe you love the process of it. That's like what you're. I just like I can't fucking get behind that. That's just so like, what do you do?
It doesn't
feel
like, authentic to you.
Yeah, it's like I think it's cool, and now it's like I guess. Maybe more flattering that people are like, oh, that's like a sick fucking like thing, like not I make websites and I just like I sell shit,
it's a little different. I totally get it. I was actually curious because I thought about doing. I have a good friend of mine who I did a podcast with last year who kind of helped me understand, like, I think I should do more of these. He's this dude like that. Started a few different businesses, failed, and then like got into learning how to do like online. I think it's called. He sold Facebook ads, but for like businesses or maybe for other things. And then they do like, I don't know exactly everything he does, but he's a marketing guy, similar to what you're doing, but it's all like the online stuff. And oh my God, I think what those guys are doing is just, it sounds cool, but to me personally, it's like, how long is that gonna last? Like. But they're not in it for that. They're going to be off to the next thing. They're like one of those people that are like opportunists, They're trying to just look at what's hot right now, how we make money off of this, learn it, and then move on to the next strategy. There's nothing wrong with it, like you said, if that's what you're into. But yeah, like I'm with you, man. My feelings are exactly the same. I'm trying to figure out something that I can sustain. That's always been my thing. I've never been in for the quick. I want the quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It just never sounded fun to me. Like,
yeah,
and like,
so much
I don't
work,
think
right?
It sounds fun to like. What do? You're like, oh, I flip pens, you know. I'm like,
Yeah, man.
All
I
right,
spent mid margins, but
Bro,
hey, if
like,
you're
maybe
making
if you
bank, then
fucking roll up in some sick cars, you're like, yeah, fuck you.
go for it, man.
I flip fucking, I sell staples.
Yeah,
like,
I sell
don't know,
staples and I got a Bentley. That's cool, man.
But like, dude, you only got like so much. Like, this is pretty fun for me. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know,
you're enjoying yourself. What you're doing.
Totally. Yeah.
It doesn't feel like work.
Well, I've had a shitty day.
Yeah.
Consecutively for years in a cubicle, and like that was my fault. So I just was like, I'm not doing that.
You're the man of your own time now.
Yeah. Well,
but you're the community mayor, man. You're the non-political, semi-political. Not really. You're not political, but you just don't have to be politically correct. That's the beauty of your page, is that you can be yourself.
Kevin Faulkner won't respond to me.
Who?
I tag the mayor all the time.
Oh, really?
And the city of San Diego, but
you don't.
No, I do, especially on the street sweeping things.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah, this is terrible. What you doing?
Nah, because they gotta clean the streets. If you park there, you could get a fine. I just think it's a little aggressive. $52. I think public services are supposed to be like almost a wash. You're not supposed to like profit off of.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it's fucking hard to pay attention. Like where you're parking and shit.
Yeah,
I think you're making this difficult on purpose.
Yeah. What's your take on the birds, man? You're a local. You're in Pacific Beach. What's your take on the birds? Are you a fan, or do you think it's like kind of crazy what they're doing? The scooters are disrupting the sidewalks.
Think you know you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And people need to maybe be like sat a little more down here.
How do you mean?
Like I think they probably just should have started with one company.
Oh yeah, now there's like 6 of them.
Kick them out then.
There was a company that just started. Did you hear about this? They're like these. It's like scooter pickup or something, or scooter cleanup.
Yeah, I saw that.
They're just literally, if you've called them, they impound the scooter, and then they're saying that they're charging the company. I don't think they're doing any of that, but because good luck trying to get money from like Bird to release all their scooters.
Dude, Bird's gonna go.
They're gonna buy more. They're gonna buy.
Who is this guy?
People don't understand. If you look, you follow like Crunchbase or something at all, like it's like.
I know what it is.
So basically, I remember when Bird and Lyft got their VC fundings. Dude, people wouldn't believe $200-300 million. You know why they need that much money? Because they're the disruptor of the market. They don't care about these scooters. They could you could go throw them all in the trash. The next day, they'll be the brand new set because that's what they know exactly what they're playing.
It takes I think someone, call it I don't think Elon Musk would be cool if he had a Tesla scooter with them just being shit all around. I think that might be some goodwill, and if Bird came down here, he's like, dude, all these fucking do a beach cleanup, get all the fucking scooters, get the Lime ones, get every brand out. I'm running this shit.
Yeah. Some facilitation, housekeeping work.
Yeah, dude, fucking clean up, bro.
Clean up. You're making a mess in cities.
You've got parts everywhere, you know?
Yeah, people breaking them and throwing them everywhere.
Yeah, so, I mean, manage your fucking product a little better.
Yeah. That's true. That's a good point.
But as far as people just leaving them in front of dude, you shouldn't leave it right here, right?
People are just being
you're being lazy,
irresponsible.
You just what you got every fucking mom tell you not to do this? Dude, you're a grown ass man or woman,
Yeah.
As far as people fucking riding drunk, dude, that's on you. But my buddy's
I think that's the large reason they close them off at 9 o'clock because they don't want people driving them drunk at night.
Yeah, I mean
that's a large reason. I think.
I think they should probably shut down Mission at night, between 12 to 4 a.m.
Oh, that little stretch of the.
Yeah, the shit section. 2 people got smoked in the crosswalk.
What do you mean?
They got hit by a car. She didn't even hit the brakes.
Oh no!
Because those crosswalks, the blinky light ones.
Yeah. You can't see.
Well, it's somewhere in the middle. It's not a full stoplight. So is the car is this a suggestion? But to someone crossing, you hit a button, and you're like, I'm going.
I don't understand why we don't have a sidewalk or a crosswalk at every single light from Mission to the other side to get to the beach. You always have to dodge traffic at every what? I don't get that at all. Yeah. That was my biggest complaint after coming here. I was like, why don't we have this sidewalk here? You literally have to dodge traffic every time. I know we're complaining about stupid shit, but this is relevant to the community.
So say it's kind of annoying, right? I don't know how to fix that, but that's why you appoint
now
the
if you
best
have something
civil
like
engineer.
This, but now if you have something like this, a platform, and we get a petition going to the San Diego mayor or whatever. I don't know who's involved in this, the city office, the whatever. Dude, this is it. This is the way you'd get it done. You'd drive traffic to that place and be like, yo, you guys want change? Let's make this happen. And then there you go. This is the power of what we're talking about.
Yeah, and
I hope you pass that dog leash thing, man. I hope it works.
that'd be cool, man.
That'd be dope. You're gonna have to tell me what you're gonna come back and tell me all about it.
That'd be a good
Follow up.
Yeah.
You got to come back
weeks.
on this like whenever you want. Okay, you have open invite to come back on this anytime.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna take like 50 last hits of that pad.
Dude, there's no reason to leave.
No, this is fun, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah. So listen, let me in closing. I just want to say I would love to get and maybe clip this out as a separate thing for the content. So from everything you've learned in building the Pacific Beach page, growing it from no followers to 40,000 followers, you already mentioned one thing, which is that people need to fill out all the fields when they're making a post or making an account on any social media page. Just do the every required field and more. Like be as descriptive as possible. Tag where your photo was taken by geolocation. So give me a couple of the things, man, that you think are just like so easy that we're just overlooking, but are like key. Anything else that comes to mind? That would be awesome.
Yeah, I think people try and like skip to like the fun part of like a witty caption.
Yeah.
And like kind of doing that, that's good. You know, like get there. But I think it just happens as you like describe the picture. There's some you should probably like read some, I'd say, SEO blogs.
SEO
you
blogs.
consider, here's what I think, like SEO background, like all the search options, like the geotag, that's SEO now.
It is.
Kind of, right? Like,
sure. No, absolutely. It is.
it's certainly more immediate than the first page of Google right now.
Absolutely.
So,
it's SEO, but it's like kind of SEO within the framework of the platform. So like kind of YouTube has their way of doing it versus Instagram. So like there's definitely overlap. You're absolutely right. But there's kind of like we're in the niche of like, oh, this is SEO for Instagram versus SEO for, I don't know what Snapchat is. They don't have hashtags, for example. So like that's a whole different model, I think.
right.
So
I set like,
so read SEO blogs.
I've set maybe not follower goals.
Sure.
But I've set content goals that I know are directly correlated to like, okay, I need like 10 3-second videos, and you know, like there's a certain mix. Like someone the other day was just like, oh yeah, it just seems like she just looked at the page. It's like it's kind of like all over the place.
Yeah. Because
the normal blogger style, whatever pages, perfect filter and stuff, and like that's a thing too, but that's like more of a gallery. I don't know what people aren't buying your followers aren't buying. This is like for like just visual pleasure or something.
Yeah.
Like no one's gonna follow you unless you're useful. So like, what are you doing posting? Are you doing it because you're like, I gotta post something?
Yeah.
Like, I gotta get it. Like fucking why? Like, you know, like maybe you don't have anything to say that day.
Yeah,
you know,
that's so true, man. I definitely feel like that. But what I do is like, see, on my couch over there, after I read every morning, I try to figure out like, okay, this is where my mind is at, and I think I want to share with people to like kind of level off. And I try to post early morning, like before 9 a.m. because I usually try to get up early in the morning and do that. So I totally get what you're saying. But there's days when I would get up and I felt like, oh my God, I've been on a really good streak. I've gotten like 100 more followers this last week by like doing, you know, content every day or whatever, and now I have like no content ready, so to speak. Like I don't have any videos edited or ready, so now you feel like, oh shit. So I totally get what you're saying, but then you're saying that's not what it's about. It doesn't matter. Essentially, it's,
I think like even if you follow someone, you know, someone can't be on every day.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe you got a couple 2-3 days of just like some motivational shit, or some information you got to get out. And maybe you have a reset, and like at the same time, someone's regurgitating or digesting all the shit you regurgitated. It's like this.
Sure. It's like a cycle.
And I don't know. You gotta respect people's time, I guess. Like, don't like waste it on.
Yeah.
You know, like if you want someone to look at something and you're charging someone else to be in that spot, like make sure like everyone's getting a good like little value here. Because it's easy to like whore yourself out for like some fucking ad money.
Hey, that's true. So I think I love what you said about filling everything out, doing geotags, read SEO blogs, and don't hold yourself up to like crazy metrics of how many followers you need, but be more consistent and have like a message that's authentic to you. Don't try to fake and like be something you're not, because ultimately that's just a bad strategy.
There's no correlation to you posting more to anything going better. Like
It's about quality of content, you're saying.
Yeah, you know, maybe you waited and then you wrote something good, couple sentences where people are reading it, maybe reading it again, so they know that you're on that page and grading it like, oh, a lot of people are looking at this shit. You know, maybe that's gonna stay in 70% of your followers' feeds now, because you know, like they're just trying to gather what people are like actually like. He does like this, not.
Yeah.
She posts a lot. Let's throw all her shit. Like, that makes no sense. The easiest thing to do is just throw a bunch of shit up there, so they're not going to reward that.
What do you think about people that like do reposts? Like, I like certain posts that I see and then you repost. Is that a bad strategy to like repost content, or to like?
Depends if like what your purpose of. Like, I repost. So
like for me, I'm gonna give my example because I'm selfish here.
Yeah, no.
So for me is like, okay, I'm trying to raise self-awareness. I want people to actually introspect and realize. Like if you're like, sometimes I'll post stuff like what's going through your mind as you're scrolling through Instagram. Like when people are going through stories, I'll just put stuff out like that to get people to actually maybe consider like, am I just doing this shit mindlessly right now? Or do I have a purpose to be looking on Instagram? Like, should I be doing something else? Like I'll find posts that like have questions around, you know, like, hey, don't be distracted by, you know, somebody else's whatever, and try to like tie it into kind of my message, but it's like there are different angles of going about the awareness piece.
Maybe you have like two different reasons for it. Like one, you post and like really extrapolate on Mondays, or you know, or whatever, and then one is more of a I don't know, have two different. Like I did a lot of this off of like a 7-day thing, like 7 menu. I just did days of the week to be consistent.
Okay.
And people like that. Like they need the. I like that. You know,
sure,
I kind of wanted, so like someone's following you, like kind of anticipating. This is what he kind of does every Monday, and that's cool because it's once a week. You know, like he goes fucking balls deep into like whatever message he wants to say. Does something on the story. Here's the thing I read, and then cool. And then like don't like exhaust something that people like. Like
don't overdo it because then it's not effective.
Yeah, part of the reason it's like
every Monday, so it gives people an anticipation. I see. So you're saying like have a consistent strategy.
Because if you don't, you're gonna quit.
Yeah,
like it's a lot.
Yeah,
like,
you're right. Because even you're not motivated to do it if you don't have a strategy. You're just kind of like, oh, today I feel like posting this, or today I do this, and then you're like, third day you're like, oh shit, I have nothing to post. Now what do I do? Now you're kind of fucked.
Well, that's why. Yeah, so
that's the story all over.
My ad model from, hey, I'm gonna do a less on the page, and I'm gonna build like series within the story, like long form. Maybe one in the morning, one that like I'm gonna figure this out different than I anticipated, because like I could have just like, you know, I guess you get subscription ad money.
Yeah.
And you know, I could put it to a bot or an auto poster, and you know, technically that's kind of what a magazine does. You know, that everything goes to print. It's just like,
yeah,
you set it on timers, cool. The wings go up, the pizza goes up, the fucking but like then I didn't want to just press buttons like that. That's definitely
that's not taking the fun out of it for you. You don't know. I get what you're saying. There's a piece of it where you engage with the person or you engage with the audience. You get real feedback. You're like, there's a human sort of connection there versus you're taking that all away if you're going to do it with a bot and you don't really know what's happening with your audience and you're just kind of speculating based on what this program, this app, this bot is trying to do. But you yourself don't actually know what your audience truly likes and doesn't like because you haven't put in the sweat equity to get there.
Right. It's like, you know, when I'm not friends, but like, you know, when you know someone, like there's, you know, when someone's not authentic.
Sure.
So, since you have, like, you're a smart guy, you have stuff to say, people like care about that. And
I don't know. Nobody cares right now, but hopefully someday.
Well, you know, like, if you care about something, chances are someone else probably does.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. They might want to hear your take.
Yeah. And I take back what I said. I don't have a lot of followers, but I actually really treasure the people that I have because I do, like, at one point I was just sending people good morning, like have a great day. Just like on a video. Like I would send 50 people people that are seeing my stories. I would just send them a message saying, hey, you're a kick-ass person. I hope you have a great day. That's it. completely selfless. I don't expect anything from it. I just want you to have some good vibes, because I really am like one of those persons that loves to like engage and have energy from people and give them energy. And so that was kind of what I was doing. So I totally know what you're saying. And there's a real sort of satisfaction that comes from an authentic person looking at what you did or sent and then like really being touched by it because it affected their day. You can't get that with a bot. You can't automate that.
You're gonna find someone's dog with a bot.
Oh yeah.
You know, like when the police helicopter goes around.
Oh yeah.
They'll be like, "Hey, what's going on?" Because I usually like, if I hear it, I'll throw like the little 50 app on.
Oh yeah.
Because it's a little delayed, but it's pretty accurate.
The radio where you can hear the cop radio.
Yeah. Yeah. You'd be like, "Oh, there's an accident on Hornblower," or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So it's like a real life video game in a sense.
Sure.
It's like, you know, you're like, oh. Because the news is so
would you
cheesy.
Fake,
like
would you fake playing a video game? Like, would you fake yourself not playing the game?
You just wouldn't play if you didn't like
it,
right?
Play,
like,
yeah.
It's just not like, I don't know.
That's a really good point you're making, because this is like a game. It's like you are playing a game, but you're playing with other people. It's just the mechanism is a little bit different than like, you know, playing an attack game or something like that.
There's a unforeseen end or whatever.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like
We don't know the end game. We don't know what it's all about, really.
Yeah, and if you don't want to go like...
Pull this up a little bit.
If you don't want to make a post like, I don't know, whatever, lost puppy or sell hot wing, like, it's fun. Like, how cool is that? You get to like cruise around restaurants and...
Yeah, no, you're totally right.
My day's pretty fucking easy. Like, it's easy because, like, I don't know. I don't think I'm at work ever.
Yeah.
And I'm at work all the time.
Sure. So yeah, you're at work everywhere you're going.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like you're your own brand in a way. But like you said earlier, there's also downsides of building a brand, right? Like some people just don't like you. They'll kick you out of the business.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I know.
So,
yeah.
You got to be a little bit careful. But do you, I mean, it's like, do you want to affiliate with those kind of people that are knocking on some honest...
I mean, I think, you know, like both sides know when they're being like, all right, are you being kind of a dick? I was being like,
yeah.
It's like,
I don't know the situation.
Here's what it's like. No, yeah, I don't want to go into. Yeah, I don't want to share it, but yeah, I don't know. It's hard to complain. It's like this is everything.
You're
I'm
right.
doing
It's
is
hard
like,
to complain. Yeah, people had much more difficult
well,
jobs.
I'm like willingly doing everything too.
Yeah,
so it's like I could just put my phone down, delete the app, and like get on with my
and
life.
then it's done.
Yeah, but like fuck it, let's just keep rolling on this shit.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Well, listen, let's take a walk or something. Let's end this thing. I think we had a good time. But listen, I would, I really did appreciate you being here and kind of sharing with me. I hope that people that watch this will find some value into, you know, how you've been able to do stuff. Nobody's really talking about this, like how they're, you know, doing what they're doing.
Like a city. Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, and then also like what you're building. It is like a little city. It's a little community.
It's a city influencer page.
It is for sure.
Yeah.
And it's influencer market is hot. Influencing as a thing is what is around now. And if you need to understand it, you need to be at least playing in the game. Otherwise you're going to be completely out of the loop. And just, I mean, that happens. So
yeah,
really appreciate that, man. So anybody that wants to check out the Pacific Beach page, it's at Pacific Beach. You can find it on Instagram. There's also a Facebook page I just recently followed. That's
all the jobs
that has like job posting. That's important, man. Like finding a job is difficult, and every job I've ever had, I've gotten through networking from somebody else. Like, you know, just this person connected me with this person, and then somehow that's the best way still today to get a job in any way. So
I didn't even know what to do with them, so I just like Facebook has it's easy to upload that.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So Donny, thank you again, man, for being here. I'm gonna cut this thing out. Thank you everybody for checking this out, and we'll see you soon.